Oh shit. Wake up, Steam! I need you to wake the frack up! Otherwise, it's gonna be stuck on that Twitch screen by the time I start streaming. And that would be bad! Okay. I also wanna... Well, nice to see that the winter sale is going on strong. No. 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 There we go. Play. Okay. Manga Gamer! Yay! Everything's working as far as I can tell. Okay. We're good here. Okay. Start the scream! Woohoo! Hello, everybody! Welcome back to Higarashi When They Cry, Watanagashi. Don't worry. We're... Crap. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, where'd my phone go so I can send messages and tell people that the stream is up? Oh, I have a message. Aw, thanks, Sharon. Okay. Turn the volume to my phone. Then we go over to Twitch on my phone. Grab the link so I can throw it all over social media. Make sure people know that I'm around. There. That one's from my girlfriend specifically. Hold this to Facebook. Then we go to Instagram, which will also post to threads. Yay! Sure. Paste. Done. There. And then meta. Oh. Why meta needs its own pick, I have no idea. And post. Followed by Discord. Then we will get to the horror of today's stream. Why? Because I'm in the mood for it for once. And... just gonna double check threads, make sure it got posted. Yes, it did. Okay. We're good. Now opening the manager. Hello, my lone viewer so far. Yep. Hey, Padme. How's it going? Now let's continue. Right about here. I let out a great big yawn. It was like morning had arrived just as I got to sleep. As Mom set up breakfast and she gave me a pained smile. What's the matter, Keiichi? What time did you go to sleep last night? Well, I wanted to go to sleep at midnight, but I had some trouble with that. You were probably all worked up from the festival. No, that's not it. Crunch, crunch. I crunched down hard on the pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. After all that happened yesterday, our discussion about the sound Shion heard, that banging noise like a child far away jumping up and down on the wooden floor. The story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night, and I just kept jumping at the slight sounds of faraway branches which should have been either unhearable or too insignificant to notice. I've had days like that. And nights. Usually when the wind is blowing like crazy. When I woke up in the morning, sunlight and birds chirping, it made me feel pretty ashamed about it, but I felt far from refreshed this morning. Keiichi-kun, good morning! Huh? Keiichi, your eyes are all red. Why is that? Why? Oh, hey, good morning. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm sleep deprived today. Again, I'm not completely... No, I'm amped about that one. That happens to me at work a lot. The festival yesterday was a lot of fun. Rena's excitement took a long time to go to sleep, so I had to take a long time to go to sleep too. To sleep! In Rena's case, her excitement seemed to be still wide awake. We should have this kind of festival more often, so we can have lots of fun together again. Yeah. Rena's talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I'd nearly forgotten about last night. Such as the inside of the ritual storehouse. That's so utterly different from the relaxed, bright, everyday life of Hinamizawa. All those stories Takano-san told me too. The mysterious incidents that occurred on the day of the Watanagashi festival every year. The strange incidents where one person would die and the one would disappear. The old stories of Hinamizawa flickering like candle behind them. The numerous and horrifying traditions of Onigafuchi village. The villagers with demon blood in them. The terrible cannibalistic feasts. The poor sacrifices kidnapped from human villages, victims of the Watanagashi, to quell the rage of Orishiro-sama, the ritual involving living sacrifices. There was also many, many others. There were so many stories that just remembering them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction either, they were true. We didn't need to just fear them just because they were real, though. Since it all happened long ago. Such a very long time ago. Hopefully. Where's Mii-chan? She's late! Huh? Before I realized it, we had arrived at the place where we usually meet Neon. Probably because I was lost in thought. We agreed if she isn't here by now, we can go ahead on ahead, right? Should we? Neon being late wasn't too rare an occurrence, but today she was unusually late. A few of the ominous tales from the night before came back to life in my mind again. Who would die this year? Who would disappear? It couldn't have been Mion. Please don't let it be Mion. What should we do, Keiichi-kun? If we don't get going, we'll be late. She'll be here. She didn't call to tell us she'd be staying home today, right? Let's just wait 5 more minutes, okay? Rena looked at her watch and seemed a little worried, but then nodded with sad smile. If we had to wait 5 more minutes, we'd have to run as fast as we could to school or we'd be late. As soon as I had thought that, we spotted Mion running towards us as a breath. Michan, you're late! You waited? You should have gone ahead of me. Mion was breathing heavily, her face was red. Her house was right down this road, wasn't it? It wasn't that far enough away for her to end up like this, was it? Michan, are you not feeling well? Huh? Now that she mentioned it, Rena pushed Mion's fangs away and put her hand to her forehead. Rena's hand is pretty cold. Michan, you're a little bit warm. It's no big deal. Give it half a day and I'll be fit as a fiddle. Are you really okay? You don't have to push yourself, you know. What's this? Kei-chan, are you worried about me? That's nice of you. The answer wasn't like Mion at all. Oh, really? Hint, hint, guys. She must have had it pretty bad. I just think you shouldn't push yourself too hard. We can tell the teacher you had to take the day off. I'm fine. I took some medicine and I think it's already working. Mion forced an expression on her face and flexed her biceps at us. Wait a minute. Whose theme song is playing in the background, guys? Okay, then let's go. Don't overdo it, but of course there's the time. What? We need to run or we won't make it! This morning sure is thrilling. It's just what I need to shake off the slowness. Let's run! Hey, wait, you're sick, you don't go over, bro. Never mind. Mion gave me a hand to run vigorously away. Michan's older than us, right? She knows her own body better than everyone else. Anyways, I decided to leave it at that and assume she was fine. Oh, really? Okay. Great, we should get going too. We began running after Mion. The school looked the same as always. The hours passed listlessly, and my lack of sleep took its toll. If there was a sport for people competing by sleeping right now, I'd be the world champion. The trick is to overcome this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside down. Why, you ask? So you don't draw strange patterns all over your notes while you're half asleep. If you're holding a pencil upside down, yeah, that wouldn't happen, would it? Something felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6 times. Ow! What was that for, Sadako? I haven't done a single thing. Who else would play a prank on me like this? Oh, it was chalk, not an eraser. Behind me, like a female outlaw holding razors, was the teacher's shadow, holding 3 pieces of chalk in each hand. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Abarakun! Go ahead and wash your face. Right. Gladly. That alone was enough to wake me. But I flew out of the hallway as if shoved out by the pressure exuded by the teacher's sheer power. Running! If I was going to wash my face anyway, then I would rather use the sinks out front rather than one in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance. The sunlight was strong. So strong you wouldn't think it's June. Bleh. Tongue-tied, I almost said July. I turned the faucet. With a lifeless bubbling noise, lukewarm water came pouring out. If I let it run for a few minutes, would it get cold? I looked at it absent-mindedly for a little while. I knew you'd choose these things, Kei-chan. The ones up front just feel better, don't they? Huh? Mion? No cutting class now, I grouched. I stuck my hands in the water to find it had gotten so cold it seemed strange to ever have it been warm. I scooped it up, splashed it against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way, and Mion did the same. Mion, how's your cold doing? You're sleepy because of the medicine, not from a lack of sleep, right? Actually, this is a secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in my party with my relatives were having. And, well, I had a bit. She made a gesture like she was tilting a cup into her mouth. Oh my god, she has a hangover. Oh my god. Which means you didn't have a cold or anything. Are you hungover? How old are you? No. Give me a break. I really don't feel well, you know. I suppose she'd be feeling lousy either way. Still, you treat colds and hangovers in completely different ways. I was worried over nothing. Man, I guess that's just like you, Mion. Mion scratched her head a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew it was a hangover, I didn't need to worry too much. It would go away with time, after all. Oh, but my head really is pounding, so the teacher told me I should go home early. You cheater. So you're going home now, Mion? Oh, look again. Mion had her bag with her, and she must have been on her way home. Yep, I feel bad about it, though, so I'll get some rest at home like a good girl. Sorry I can't make it to club. Would you take over as leader, Kei-chan? I don't know if that'll happen. We had an unspoken rule where we don't go to club unless everyone is there, don't we? We never did it when you had to go to your part-time job, did we? Have you noticed the slip-up yet, guys? Mion laughed wryly, saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we have, though, I think that feeling guilty about our friends who couldn't share it is a sign of a really fantastic friendship. In that sense, the club Mion had created is a wonderful thing. As I thought about it, the moisture on my washed-up face dried up. I suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't get back to class soon, I'd get in trouble. Okay, later. I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it? I left it at that and turned around and started heading back to the classroom. Oh, one more thing, Kei-chan. Mion stopped me and turned my head to listen. What's up? This may sound weird, so you don't think too hard about it? Well, that depends on what it is. Last night, near the end of the festival, did you see Tomotaki-san or Takano-san anywhere? Oh, that. I suddenly tensed up. Bokeshi and myself. You know Tomotaki-san and Takano-san, right? You remember Kei-chan when the four of you were talking during the setup the day before? If I could, I wanted to forget about sneaking into the storeroom last night as soon as possible. So hearing the names of the people I was with at the time really got to me. Besides that, though, why was Mion asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her, unable to answer immediately. Was she asking to see if I had seen them, or not? Was she asking the question knowing that I had, or I couldn't tell? Well, maybe? I might have seen them around, I don't know. My vague response clearly was not to Mion's liking. What answer was she expecting from me? There's no way for me to know. I see. Then one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion? My heart leapt into my throat again. The tiny needle buried underneath Mion's words pricked into me. Didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you I wasn't sure if I had or not. Did you? There it is. That look again. I'm just gonna do a save right here. Because her eyes just went weirdo. I suddenly noticed something in Neon's eyes that seemed something indescribable. Tomatake-san and Takano-san. Shion, too. She was asking me about them. There was no doubt about it. Last night, the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. So what? There's not really a curse anyway. That's right. Even Shion and Takano-san said yesterday during the festival, there is no curse. And that rather than a curse, it was doing of the villagers themselves. My blood curdled. Mion was, almost without a doubt, aware that we snuck into the storehouse. Oh, Keishi. Oh, buddy. It was nothing strange. I screwed up bad flipping on the light switch last night. If Mion had been searching for me, it was simple to imagine that she'd seen that momentary light, and come to find out what was going on. Did you really not see her? Why are you so intent on knowing if I did or not? Your eyes flip back. It's not important. It's just, there's some people who are speaking poorly of Tomatake-san, Takano-san, Shion, and you, Keiichi-chan. I didn't really hear what they were saying, though. And wasn't as sweet dripping from my arms, and the sound of hanging from my fingertips is so annoyingly loud. I don't believe you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit about this, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay? I found myself unable to respond. My reaction must have been obvious because the truth was, I couldn't explain myself. Kei-chan, you weren't with Tomatake-san, Takano-san, or Shion, right? Yeah. I finally wrung out the answer between ragged breaths, and Mion's expression softened a little. That's good. I'll have to tell them. You weren't involved in anything bad, Kei-chan. So, I'll make sure to tell everyone. Sus much? Yeah, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. To everyone, make sure. Everyone. Everyone. Who is everyone? Okay, later. I'll be better tomorrow. Bye-bye. Well, that was terrifying. Okay, later, better tomorrow. Bye-bye. Wait, Mion, what do you mean by everyone? Just then, a freezing cold touched the back of my neck. Hey! You're late, Mabara-kun. How long does it take to wash your face? It was the teacher. I was taking so long she came out to get me. I'm sorry, I was just speaking to Mion. I turned around, but Mion had crossed the schoolyard without me realizing it, and now standing at the gate. Come back to your studies. Quickly now. The teacher was being insistent, so we returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time and Mion was nowhere in sight.
Keiichi, you haven't seemed well at all. It's clear because he had far too much fun yesterday.
I don't want to be told by the one who got lost. Your face was all red, you were nearly crying.
So Satoru-chan was so cute last night.
My friends did their best to try and cheer me up, but it didn't lighten my mood. Was it far worse than I thought? Had I really done something that terrible last night? These thoughts remained with me for the rest of the day. In no particular order.
Bye, Keiichi-kun. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
By the time I realized it, I was in front of my own house. Wow, he just fast-forwarded through that entire walk, apparently.
Mii-chan had a cold, right? Could you have a cold too, Keiichi-kun? Could you?
I'm fine. I may look scrawny, but I've never missed a school because of cold.
Both you and Mii-chan didn't look so good here today, though.
Thanks for worrying about me. I'm fine. Idiots don't catch colds, remember? Oh, I wish that were true. Oh boy. Rena smiled and waved to me and left. Oh. With my shoulders bobbing down. Crap. Come here, log. I missed that. With my shoulders bobbing up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back in, Mom called out to me. Okay. What?
Keiichi, I'm sorry, could you go to the library and return a few books for me?
Huh? I don't feel like it.
Your dad and I had to wait inside the house for the phone call right now, so we can't leave. I need to return them today. Could you please do it?
Sheesh. Did it have to be do with Dad's job? No point in arguing if they bring that up. I guess so, but I don't know where the library is.
Oh, you don't? It's a little bit past Okonomiya Station.
Just then the phone rang. My parents' faces turned grim. Mom snatched up the receiver.
Hello. Avara speaking. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's right here.
Then she thrust the receiver at my face.
It's for you, Keiichi. Don't take too long, okay?
I tried to ask who it was, but asking the person on the phone directly would be faster. Hello?
Ah, this is Sonozaki. Well,
the younger one.
Hello? Do you have time to talk right now?
It was Shion. The older sister had a hangover today, but the younger one made no reference to it. Shion? I thought you'd be sleeping in today with the hangover, same as Mion.
What? Mion had a hangover?
That's so like her. She laughed warmly, but Mom glared at me silently, telling me to finish up. Whoops, sorry. My parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk too long. What do you need?
There's something I want to talk about, but if you can't talk long, I guess that's that.
She sounded a little disappointed. What would Shion want to talk to me about? Oh crap, I skipped some... Wait, no, not auto. Never auto or skip. Something I want to talk about. We can't talk long, I guess that's it. She sounded a little disappointed. What would Shion want to talk to me about? Now I was interested.
And how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that would be great. You in the public library near the station? Yeah, that's fine. I go past there on my way to work anyway. Okay, so you know where it is? I usually meet up with Mion at that intersection with the small path from Sonozaki House splits. Okay, Kun. Hey, Chan, can I tell you? I don't live in the main house, I live in Okonomiya. We meet by the ticket machines at Okonomiya Station, that'd be great.
Main house? Living in Okonomiya? Now that she mentioned it, it seemed like the Sonozaki sisters weren't communicating. Did they live in different houses? Ding ding ding! That's correct, Keiichi. What else seems suspicious about your entire day?
Also, now that she mentioned it, Rena did say she never met the younger sister, despite going over the place sometimes. Let's meet at the station then. I'll go right there right away. Bye! I set the receiver down and Mom immediately thrust a huge file of library books in my face. 6 volumes of long-form mystery novels. Back when Blockbuster and basically renting movies was a thing, as a kid and a teenager, I constantly had to deal with this from my mother, except it wasn't novels, it was DVDs. Mom had her own hobbies. Thank you, Keiichi. Be back by nightfall. Got it. Okay, I'm going. I suppose I should change up my clothes and grab my bike key. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom. Shion had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth process. Wow, Mion never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly. Making my sister the standard for everything will get you into trouble. Shion seemed a little unsteady today. She was drinking with Mion last night, wasn't she? You were drinking last night, weren't you? Don't try to hide it. You definitely were home from early school early. Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day in the first place. I'm smarter than Mion after all. Hey. I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter. You should finish your errand first. We don't have that much time. We're going to the library, right? Yeah, thanks. My mom had to return some books by today. Is the library far? No, it's really close by. As she said that, we spotted the signboard from the library almost immediately. It was just easy to find, and then I guess I don't need Shion to show me where it was after all. We rode around the bend, and the building was right there. Shishibone Public Library. We lived in the country, so I hadn't expected it to be too much, but it was pretty big. The first floor was actually a government office, so the library was only on the second floor, but it still looked large enough to fit a decent collection of books. Hey, there's a person at the desk. We passed through the automatic doors and were greeted by a cool breeze of air curtain. The cicadas have been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. Yay, soundproofing! Air conditioning inside was keeping the temperature at an ideal level for books, which had a mildewy smell unique to old paper. I guess every library is basically the same. If there was one difference, it was that people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now it seemed like a distant memory. Hello, I have some books to return? Librarian went through the process of checking them in and returned my mom's library card. Shion was around the bookshelves with a deeply interested look on her face, like she wasn't the type who went to libraries very often. Sorry for the wait, I'm all done. Libraries sure are nice and cool, aren't they? I want to work in a library one day. I had that dream too. It failed horribly. I don't know whether to call that boring or dependable. It's a pretty small dream compared to your sister. Mion was definitely wanted to be a hard-working employee for some international trading company or some other crazy job that involved her running all around the world. Compared to that, what Mion said is pretty heartwarming. Well, I need to keep our differences dear to us. We're not copies, we're two different people, so called Shiona and Mion. Twins have a lot to think about, huh? Still, it sounds like fun. I don't have any brothers, so it's not... There's just me and my parents at my house. It gets a little uncomfortable. It's okay, Keiichi, I have a younger brother. You're not missing a huge amount, but it is an experience. It's the same for me, I don't live with Mion after all. Oh right, she said something like that, didn't she? Why though? Sisters living apart is unusual. We're getting tired of talking while we're walking. We ended up going to the lounge area, which was vacant, and continued the conversation. Yes, Mion lives in the main house. I live in Okonomiya. What do you mean by main house? You make it sound like you're nobility. It's just the main house, the Sonozaki family's main house. Mion's the successor, so she lives with Nana and apparently studies all sorts of things as a preparation for being the head of the family. Yeah, there's the sticking point for why there's probably a bit of a wedge in their relationship. Mion, the head of the family? It kind of fits her personality, but kind of didn't too. Kei-chan, you just moved here, right? This will sound like I'm boasting, but we of the Sonozaki family are kinda personages around here. Huh? Seriously? The word personage didn't really match the extremely social air that Mion Shion gave off. From what Shion explained, the Sonozaki family goes way back to the beginning of Hinamizawa. After the war, they had a bunch of successful ventures, extended their influence to a wide area. The Sonozaki house is founded under which the entire family cooperates. Oh, is foundationed under which the entire family cooperates. Though the current family head, its grandma, was the one who built it. The entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. They're like a huge living company. This let them avoid tax-related problems and help relatives venture success one after another using large amounts of money. If you ever go for a walk through Okonomiya, pay attention to the signboards and stuff. If there's lots of shops that are managed by members of the Sonozaki family. Now that you mention it, the toy store looks like it was managed by relatives as well. Does that mean your relatives operate Angel Mort too? Keiichi, that was extremely blatantly obvious. Unless he wasn't paying as close attention as me. Even when a few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Sonozaki family, it was definitely surprising. The family in particular is strong in financial and real estate. Even a lot of members of the Chamber of Commerce industry either have a last name Sonozaki or their relatives. There are Sonozakis in the City Council and Prefectural Assembly too, since they have Okonomiya area giving them strong electoral support. Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. Relatives operates shops in downtown Okonomiya, and they're really strong in finance and real estate. On top of a lot of those in Chamber of Commerce, industry are relatives, and there are even people elected to the local offices. So then, the Sonozaki family is pretty famous in this area. Yes, it's crazy. All of a sudden, a cigarette-smoking, overweight old man interrupts our conversation. Wait, I know this guy. Hello, good afternoon. Are you on a date today? What I would give to be young again. If you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us? Oishi-san? Oishi-san? That was it. He was Oishi-san, a police officer. I thought this was the person who came to my rescue when I was involved in those delinquents before. Now I thought about it, Mion didn't seem to like him very much. No, I apologize. I heard a familiar voice, so I came over to see. Oishi laughed coarsely, not showing any sign of giving up. As she had watched him, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her I had from Mion. Sabar-kun, right? You're one tough guy. The hell? Oh, it's just a work text. Sabar-san, right? You're one tough guy. Two-timing the Sonozaki sisters, are you? No, I'm not two-timing anyone. I looked around at Shion and pleaded for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. Her gaze wandered. She looked at the clock. I'm sorry, Kei-chan. I really need to get back to my job. Huh? Oh, did you? Wait, didn't Shion talk about didn't have something to talk about today? Now this weird man is here, though. Yep, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be okay to call at night, right? Yeah, probably okay. Then I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye! Shion left so fast she was practically running. Oishi-san waving at me with a grin. I felt like I had been left out here as bait so she can get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work. Sure, she's lying about a lot of things, but that's just me. You're quite a big shot being so close to Sonozaki daughters. Maybe I should rethink how to talk to you too. Noo-foo-foo-foo-foo. Oishi-san put a coin in the vending machine as he said something a bit appalling. Is iced tea okay with you? Do you want milk in it? No, I'll put some in then, alright? Here you go. He handed me a cup of tea filled to the brim with ice. I looked on it absent-mindedly. I don't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he did get it for me, so I'll thank him. Was Oishi-san just killing time? Didn't we know each other well? Is he still engaged with me in a conversation with all sorts of dumb things? When I thought back of how I talked with Shion, it seemed like a total disaster. Abara-san, how much do you know about the Sonozaki-san? Other than what I've heard just now, nothing. Until then, I hadn't known anything about Mion or Shion other than the fact they were interesting. I really did only just learn that she was the daughter of some prestigious family. The Sonozakis are a Yakuza group with this entire region under their thumb. Plus, her father is the high-ranking executive in the XX Yakuza Association. Did you know that? What? An executive? I've never seen where the Shion-san lives. It's a very picture of a gang boss's house, protected by high walls, barbed wire fence, and security cameras. If you have the chance, you should go visit her. Okay. She'd mentioned me on being a successor, but to a Yakuza group? No. Not at all. A boring old Yakuza group isn't the only thing Mion Sonozaki-san will inherit. She's inheriting the Sonozaki family itself. I'll leave it up to you to mull over what exactly that means. Oishi-san spoke lightly about this, but from the start to finish, what he was saying wasn't light in the least. It was abrupt and unbelievable. If Mion-san wanted to, she could kill someone in the middle of the street and still cover it up. Not only would witnesses not show up, she'd put pressure on the police too. But Mion wouldn't kill someone. She wouldn't. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Your name, it was Oishi-san, right? Yes, that's right. Then Oishi-san, whatever family Mion comes from, doesn't hate the fact that she's the best friend I could ever have, and I'm proud of that. I don't appreciate people speaking ill of her. I let my quiet anger show in my gaze as I stared at him. Of course, I can never tell what he's thinking, so I don't know if it had any effect whatsoever. And let me be frank. If Mion was suspected of a handful of incidents, what would you think? Suspected? Incidents? You can't just say terrible things like that on a whim. Then it would be a misunderstanding, of course. Mion may say dangerous things, but she's not the kind of person who would do something so awful. Abara-san, please keep your voice down. We're in a library. Oishi-san shushed me, but in a state of heightened excitement as I was, I wouldn't be so easily calmed. Please calm down. As I said before, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of power in this region, for better or worse. So if anything happens, they would immediately be suspect. I'd appreciate if you understood that. Well, I know what Oishi-san is trying to say. Combining it with what Shion told me before, the Sonozaki family is huge and controls everything from Hinamazawa to Okinomiya. Mion, meanwhile, is the successor who apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. Still, is that all? It's the only reason they're suspecting her? I'm just doing my job here. Not to doubt Mion-san of anything, but to clear up suspicions surrounding her, please think of it like that. He could talk a dog out of a meat truck. He was the definition of shrewd, unfamiliar adult. At this point, I began to think that it was no coincidence that I met him. Oishi-san, did you need something from me? Yes, I do. Keiichi Mahabara-san, he answered in the absent tone of voice. Mion's being suspected of something, and you came to hear from a friend of hers, me. Is that it? No, that isn't it. I didn't come to talk to a friend about Mion-san, Sonozaki-san. I came here to talk to Keiichi Marabara-san. It would probably have bothered you had I visited your house. To me. What did the police want with me? Having realized this fake coincidental meeting had me as its target, my mood immediately turned foul. As it should. No need to be so tense. Calm down, it's just answer a few questions. Am I being questioned? Let's call and chat with the guy who I happened to run into. Oishi-san freely suggested I relax. That said, behind his eyes were a light which I could only see sometimes. That was as sharp as a hawk. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me into an interrogation room or something, and then I'd never see the light of day again. That was undoubtedly an unpleasant thought. You had a roaring good time at Watanagashi Festival last night, didn't you? Don't beat around the bush, please. I can't do small talk right now. Last night, during the festival... Did you see Jiro Tomataki-san and Mio Takano-san? Huh. Asked this by both Mion and now Oishi. Yeah. That's not sus at all. I could plainly feel myself give a start. Where did I put those pictures? Oh, here they are. He opened a small notebook and removed 2 photographs. I didn't have to look. Well, who knows? I haven't seen them around, I don't remember. I was asked the same question for a second time today. Yeah. I gave the same answer for the second time, too. Your memories are blurry. You could have possibly been drinking anything. Here, too, I gave the same answer as I had with Mion. I realized he wasn't taking my vague reply well. Why is he asking me? The same thing Mion did. Think, Keiichi, think. Why would that happen? The dark feelings I had nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion came rushing back in a hurry, like a freight train. We snuck into the sacred ritual storehouse, a punishable act. It was on a tiny impulse. While it may not account for much, I don't feel sorry about it. I'll ask again. Did you see Jiro Tomataki-san and Mio Takano-san at the festival last night? His tone was soft, but there was a dreadfulness in his voice that clearly different from the first time he asked. I'm scared. That was exactly how I felt. Even if you repeat the question, my answer won't change. I don't really remember. There wasn't any better answer I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say I didn't see them, nor the courage to admit I had. I see. Just as I thought, maybe I'd get a different answer if I asked a second time. I'm too scared to look Oishi-san in the eyes. I'll change the question. Amabara-san. Relax. Oishi-san grabbed my shoulder and squeezed them as if trying to give me a massage. It mostly just hurt, though. Still, why? Why would he ask the same things as Mion? He's asked the same things, and the next question must be... On the same night of the festival, did you see Shion Sonozaki-san? There was clattering. I wonder what that sound was. When I looked down, I saw it was unmelted ice in the cup I was gripping in my hand. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realizing I had hastily put the remaining ice in my mouth and crunched down on it. Sorry, I may have seen her, but well, you know, she looks just like me on... I would have just mistakenly the two... No, But that couldn't be. Suddenly, Oishi-san grabbed both my shoulders and hunched me a level stare. This must be what it's like to be a deer in headlights. I wanted to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I've experienced such a piercing stare. Mion-san and Shion-san wear completely different clothing. He's got a point there. Wouldn't mistake the two so easily, I would think. Mabara-san. His voice was harsh. Harsh the same as Mion said it. Oh boy. I could feel my heart beat quick, and when I realized he could feel it through his hands on my shoulders, I got even more scared. Why are Mion and Oishi-san both asking about last night? Was sneaking in that storehouse so bad? I couldn't have let Takano-san talk me into it. Takano-san casually said to check it out too, so even Shion if she hadn't encouraged me. No, I understood. I was the one most at fault here. I shouldn't have let my curiosity get the better of me. I shouldn't have gone into that forbidden storehouse. Oishi-san? I think that's our cue to get out of here. Young man wearing a suit came to the lounge. From the way he held himself, I knew immediately he was Oishi-san's subordinate. Oh, it is! Closing time already. I didn't realize it until he said something. The jingle and announcement telling patrons the library had closed starts to play without me realizing it. I was so irritated, so overwhelmed, I couldn't even hear it. Well then, Mabara-kun, we're out of time, so allow me to take my leave. I'd like to talk with you more about this at your leisure when we have more time. This isn't a joke. If I'd ever saw him again, it would be too soon. Oishi-san, following his subordinate, left the lounge behind him. However, he spun right back around. Alright, Mabara-san. What is it? Those two questions I asked before. You don't remember well enough to answer either of them, correct? Right. Just so you know, you saw them all yesterday. You were walking along, the four of you, having quite a pleasant time. Near the stone steps. I saw you with my own eyes. Did he now? Okay, she just lied directly to a cop. That's usually a bad thing. I caught my breath and my heart seemed like it was about to stop. With a detestful person, he knew and he was testing me. We'll meet again. Have a good year. I sat there like a rock unmoving until I could no longer hear the clacking sounds of their footsteps. Keiichi, you are screwed. Okay. I was on my way back home. The cries of Higarashi accentuated the already lonely evening. More time passed than I thought. The orange of dusky sky was being chased down little by little by an indigo color approaching from the east. Exhausted from the slow climb towards the Hinamizawa without even noticing, I'd gotten off my bike and was pushing it uphill. A lot of dots. I don't understand any of this. No one had told to my face I had done something wrong. No, in fact, it must have been easier for me that way. What happened yesterday really was just for my curiosity. It was really nothing more than a quiet prank, no more than having the courage to cross a red light, as long as you did it with other people. The storehouse ritual influence, hallowed ground, only accessible to the family of the priest. For sure, I'd seen some terrifying things I never imagined would be there. Thinking on it now, it didn't matter what was stored away inside. It didn't make the wrong I'd committed any more right. For what the four of us did, Mion seemed to know about it. For some reason, even the police were trying to learn what the four of us did. Did we do something so bad? Really? It doesn't matter how wrong it was. I did something wrong. It's nothing more than that, and yet I couldn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Mion or Oishi-san at all. All I did was shield myself from the ambiguity. I did something wrong yesterday. I set foot in a forbidden house for a little bit of mischief. I forgot everything I saw in there. I won't ever do something like that again, either. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I apologize like that, would they forgive me? Suddenly the cooling air left no room for such sentiment, however, as mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible. In the end, the evening air was correct. If I trudge along with such an isolated road, regrets would pile on top of regrets. Nothing would change. Let's go home. I'll go home to my room, put on my favorite music or something, and go to bed. That may sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I felt all day. Oh. Now that I made a decision, there's no point in dawdling in place like this. I sat on my bike. I pushed hard on the pedals. I rapidly advanced forward. I steadily gained speed. The wind was cutting and merciless, but it actually felt good, as if it were softly punishing me. Ba-na-na-na-na. I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returned to my bedroom. My mom called me from downstairs. Keiichi, you have a call. It's from the Sonozaki-san. Sonozaki? Was it Mion? No, it was Shion. I just remembered. She'd had something she wanted to tell me today. Luigi-san had interrupted us, so she didn't get a chance. Shion had said she'd call tonight. Hello? Is that you, Shion? Hello. Ran into a bit of trouble today, didn't we? She said so plainly that I got a bit annoyed. She was the one who left me there and ran. Don't say that. I gave you the signal to run with me, didn't I? You sat there looking dazed, Kei-chan. I wasn't dazed. All of a sudden you left me there, and after that I had to put up with Oishi guy for ages. Don't complain to me about it. I can't believe she passed it off like that. She looks just like Mion, yet inside she's this different. I got a little irritated with myself and realized I was somewhere in my mind hoping for the same reaction I got from Mion, even though she's a different person. Sorry, next time I'll run away the first thing and leave you there. Hey, it's ladies first, ha 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 ha. Shion laughed refreshingly. When I heard her voice, I realized she wasn't really that angry or anything. It was just she said the cause of my temper was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. I stopped blaming it on others. Blaming it on others would be... Anyway, you had something to tell me, right? Oh yeah. I mean, if you already know, then it's not something that bears repeating. Do you already know? She all lowered her voice suddenly as if she were glancing around. I had no idea what I could already know. Sorry, I have no clue what you're talking about. At least give me a hint. So that means you don't know. She seemed to take my stupid-sounding question as evidence. However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the least. Again, that's very sus. Actually, it's about the last night during the Watanagashi festival. Yeah. My entire body jolted as if assailed by a terrible feeling. Is Shion going to ask me the same thing? Hello, Kei-chan, are you listening? Oh yeah, I am. What about last night? The four of us went in there, right? Shouldn't have beat around the bush. Whether or not I wanted to admit it, that was the actual honest truth. I couldn't act like it hadn't happened. And after that, we walked away together, and then we went our separate ways near the stone stairs, right? Takano-san and Tomotaki-san went to the stream, and you stayed there, Kei-chan. I went over to see some relatives. Yeah? Why do you ask? We won't make any progress if we keep asking each other questions, so let me ask you this question first, okay? You mean, did I see Tomotaki-san and Takano-san last night? Huh? Oh yes, did you see the two of them after that? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. This is the third time I've been asked this question today. What the hell is going on? Why? Why are you asking me that? No, Kei-chan, I'm asking the question. Please answer me. Did you, Shion? If you answer first, then I'll answer. My shabby response portrayed how scared and small I felt right now, after everything that happened today. Shion didn't say anything for the first few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd really put my foot in my mouth, and with that response, she finally answered me. Of course I didn't see them. My relatives were with me, so they can vouch for that. I didn't see them either. People can vouch for me too, like Mion, Renna, and everyone else. Now that we knew our answers matched, she let out a sigh and sounded a lot more relieved than anything else. Thank you for answering me honestly. Okay then, I'll tell you. Apparently, Takano-san and Tomotaki-san died. Late last night. Sorry, Shion. What was that you just said? Apparently last night, Takano-san and Tomotaki-san died. Oh. Takano-san was found burned to death. Tomotaki-san was, well, it looks like a suicide. I found out this morning. I heard my dad talking to a relative on the phone. Late last night. A police car on its way back from the festival security duty discovered Tomotaki-san laying in the middle of the road, heading towards Okonomiya. He had clawed out his throat and died. Wow, that sounds familiar. Like he died the same way in the prior arc, too. What? He clawed out his own throat? That bright, cheerful Tomotaki-san committed suicide? That can't possibly be right. Police did an autopsy. He did it with his own fingernails. Scratched his throat so hard he ruptured his blood vessels and bled out. That's the same in this timeline and the timeline in Chapter 1. Also, Keiichi died the same way in Arc 1 too. He died in a pool of his own blood, that's what they said. I never heard of such an insane suicide. Can't just scratch open your own throat like that. I realized I was yelling too loudly, so I lowered my voice and putting it into my voice. I didn't want my parents to hear me, so I switched the cordless phone and ran up to my room. Sorry for yelling. So, was Takano-san, was that a suicide too? In her case, it seems a little unclear. Although we didn't get Takano's death in Arc 1, so this is new. Takano-san's body was found in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture. Employees at a rest stop nearby reported to police late that night they could see flames in the mountains. The firefighters dispatched there were the first ones to find her. An autopsy concluded it was a burned corpse of a half-naked female. They initially considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after there was a request for dental comparison from XX Prefectural Police Station in Okonomiya, and the result concluded it was Mio Takano. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely it had been a homicide, since she was in her undergarments and her clothes were nowhere in the area. The oil drum had fallen over, so it's possible she burned herself to death. It couldn't have possibly been a suicide. If you're gonna die, there are plenty easier ways that aren't there. This can't be a suicide. That's what I'm thinking. It's unthinkable that Tomotaki-san would kill himself too. After the two of us rattled on at each other, there was a silence as we paused to catch our breaths. As we calmed our nerves, right then I understood why Shion's story actually meant. I think it'll end up being Oshirama's curse. We all did more than enough to deserve it, after all. You've gotta be kidding me! It's not like Shion wanted to see it with me, so I went along with her. I tried to say that, but I fell silent. Nothing will come of me blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me, I could have put my foot down. I lost my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go with them. Yes, it was my fault and no one else's. Shion, Last night, when we snuck into the ritual storehouse, did you predict things would turn out this way? Of course not. I mean, I thought it was pretty risky whenever change something like this would happen. Shion's words were probably her true feelings. She knew she could get in trouble if we were caught, but there was the thrill of this little adventure. It was the same for me. Besides that, Keiichi-kun, think about it for a moment. Didn't Oshiro-sama's curse turn out to be a little strange this year? Well, yeah, they found both bodies. It's usually one dies and one vanishes without a trace, or demoned away, or whatever. It was already plenty strange seeing as how Tomotaki-san and Takano-san died like that. Given all that, what could possibly be stranger? I mean, they found two corpses. Remember what I said? Every other year, one person would die and the other would disappear. This year, it's the first time two people have been found dead. That may be true, but that's not a big deal, is it? Oh. It is, Kei-chan. Think about it harder. Listen, if two people died because of Oshiro-sama's curse, then in order to quell Oshiro-sama's anger, two people would need to be sacrificed. Oh, goody. Is that how it works? So what? Tomotaki-san and Takano-san died, so two more people are going to go missing this year. I don't understand why, but when I said that, my spine freezes. I don't think anyone else has been confirmed missing yet. I think those two people have yet to disappear. Shion, like me, was obviously getting the same feeling crawling on the back for her. Two people have yet to disappear? Shion didn't answer. I couldn't say any more than that either. A chill crept through my clothes and I tried to wrap my fist around my heart, cold hands feeling on my chest. Neither of us could say anything. Tomotaki-san opened the lock and he died. Takano-san exposed this ritual storehouse, she died. If two more people were to be sacrificed, then they would be none other than the ones who entered with them, none of the other than us. No. This has got to be a joke. Yes, some sick joke. I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke right now. That was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request, wasn't it? If Tomoaki-san and Takano-san died in a common way like a car accident, I could tell myself it was coincidence. Instead, he clawed out his own throat, and she burned to death, drowned in oil in a mountain. The two deaths were so out of the ordinary, I couldn't possibly dismiss it as mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be someone punishing us, and some sort of cruel work behind the scenes. Even so, I still didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I'd have to acknowledge that the horrible crisis was going near for Shion and I. That's why I'm arguing against it. Oh look, a horror trope. I argued knowing I was running away. In the newspaper, it's not even newspaper, is it? Such a monstrous incident would be all over the newspapers and television. Magazine writers would flood the village too, thinking it'd make for an interesting story. Of course it's not getting reported to the media. That's how it was in the past too. When the incidents occurred for a third year in a row, there was some third-rate magazine that sniffed out the story and ran issues full of gossip columns about Hinamazawa. Fearing that region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefectural and the police. Since last year, it's become a big conspiracy where no information about the incident was allowed to be leaked to the media. I hear elders and top brass from Sonozaki family put all the pressure they could on the police. Then you mean their deaths are going to be dealt with in total secrecy. Gold Star, Keiichi, you figured it out. That's how it is. Of course, police are investigating it. It's being performed in secret too, so I can hear the investigation itself has very restriction on what it can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with the police investigation. This story is unbelievable. People died, yet they don't publicize it and deal with everything in secret. If we break it down further, it means no matter who dies on the night of Watanagashi, it won't go public. Again, that is very sus. That's the biggest pile of bullshit I ever heard. Hey, John, before I said how the villagers could be the one carrying me out, or Shirosama's curse, that's what I mean. At some point, a tradition was created in Himazawa, where every year you're allowed to kill someone on the night of Watanagashi under the guise of being Shirosama's curse. When someone dies on the night of Watanagashi, it's turned into Curse of Oishiro-sama. The curse turns into a serial murder incident. In order to avoid exuberating the negative stigma surrounding Himazawa, those incidents are dealt with in secret. That's insane! Dead and missing people turn up every year. How bad the stigma gets, the police have to draw the line somewhere, don't they? You could say the incidents happen every year, it's mysterious, but the police can get the job done when they need to. After all, the incidents always get resolved individually. It doesn't end with being a string of incidents, you know. It also happens that something unfortunate happens on the night of Watanagashi every year. That's all it turns into. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last member, one managed to get away, but the events were totally exposed and elucidated, so it was in its essence resolved. The damn sporting couple who died in the accident on the second year, that was an accidental, plain and simple. They made a lot of investigations into the possibility of it being homicide, but they didn't turn up anything. It ended up being an accident. It was resolved. On the third year, a priest fell ill and passed away. There were doctors present at the hospital at his deathbed, and they all had trustworthy medical certificates. They even did an autopsy. It was concluded it wasn't a homicide. That was resolved too. On the fourth year, sister-in-law of the damned sporting couple was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulant usage. He confessed he thought Oishiro-sama's curse was so interesting, he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while imprisoned, so this is essentially resolved as well. That's right. None of the incidents had a relation to another, and each one is independently resolved. So then why does an unfortunate coincidence occur every year at the night of Watanagashi Festival? Because they assume someone's going to do something stupid, and then they silence them. You can try and say it's a string of related incidents, but they're not related. Yet every year someone always dies and someone always disappears. The story of Takano told me on the day before during the setup. Now that the curse really had occurred this year, I couldn't just laugh it off. Especially considering it happened to her. Then, does that mean it'll come for us, too? Just like one person dies, one person disappears every year, are you saying we'll be taken along with Tomotaki-san and Takano-san in a race, too? My lips had turned at some point, become completely dry, and just saying that was difficult. Shion didn't respond. Her silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she could give me. Sure, we went somewhere we shouldn't have. We were just looking, right? We didn't steal anything, we didn't take anything out, we didn't tell anyone that we looked, right? I was already regretting having committed such a wrong. Even so, was it really so bad that Tomotaki-san and Takano-san deserved such a cruel death? Besides, I don't care about anything I saw in there at all. Takano was the only one getting happy over it, wasn't she? Takano-san was the only one at fault. Well, to be fair, I don't have anything to do with this. I'm not interested. I'm not involved. I don't give a shit about what was in there. I knew saying so wouldn't solve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self, in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted at my pointless howling. However, my emotions had broken through the dam. I couldn't stop them anymore. I didn't have anything interesting in any of this from the start. Damn it! All I wanted was to watch Rikuchan performance. You were the ones that pulled me away from that, weren't you, Shion? I don't give a rat's ass whether those two were trying to steal something or trying to meet up secretly or whatever. That's right, you're the only one who made me go in there in the first place, Shion. You were all Kei-chan, you need to see what's inside, and you convinced me and pulled me in there. Why the hell did you do that? I didn't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you going to do, damn it? How are you going to take responsibility for this, huh? Okay, listen. And I think she hung up at that point. Click. Without warning, the phone cut off with a soft sound of receiver being slammed down. Shion was just as terrified as I was. I just said some really self-centered things. My riled-up emotions disappeared as if they never existed, and in their place surges waves of deep regret, as if running my mouth was so irresponsible. I could try calling out Shion's name from beyond the disconnected phone, but it was too late. What have I done? Shion was trying to tell me as much as she could about that thing about to descend upon us. As for me, I could only whine like a child about it. I went to call her back, but then remembered she lived in Okamiya. I didn't know her phone number. Since I had declared to Mion that I had seen Shion last night, I couldn't just call Mion and ask her for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't even call her back. I was stricken with hopeless regret. I returned the receiver to his stand and simply prayed that Shion would call me back again. Please, Shion, calm down and call me again. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, this is Mabara. I swept the receiver so it wouldn't go through, but I didn't grab it at the exact moment. Is this Mabara's residence? Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this head of the household? It was the voice of a middle-aged man. All my hope rushed out of me. No, it isn't. If you need Dad, I'll call him. I would put the receiver back down. The man stopped me hurriedly. No. He's busy, that's fine. This may be a strange request, but my old man was paying you a visit. No, nobody's here at the moment. I see. Again, I apologize for calling you so late night. Goodbye. Flack. Well, that was sus. That was so sus. I don't know who that was, but if Shion tried to call while I was talking to him, I thought bubbling with egotistical anger. Hey, wait. Give me a break, Keiichi Mabara. These are the selfish emotions that made Shion mad at you, aren't they? The more I thought about it, the more I thought that Shion had given up hope in the short time since we had our conversation, and didn't want to call anymore. Calm yourself, Keiichi Mabara. If Shion does call again, then first apologize in a calm voice. Do that, Shion should understand. For no matter how long I waited, the phone didn't ring again that night. Oh, Keiichi. You received tips from Scrapbook 6, Scrapbook 7, and Late Night Phone Call. Close calls. Few new tips. Okay, we'll go at these from order as usual. Scrapbook 6, what you got for me? The significance of Watanagashi. Watanagashi, a festival of hunting for sacrifices and feasting on them. Oh, joy. While the festival itself is remarkable, it has come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps it's because of the disparity between being both egregious act and the form of entertainment that the perpetrators began believing themselves transcendent. However, I found some very interesting literature that appears to raise questions about that explanation. As the most oral traditions, it's not easily swallowed, but just to mention a few things that sparked my interest. According to this literature, even the residents of Onogafuchi village felt fear towards this ritual. Women and children would grow pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit, but it's said that the feast, the dissection, was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I thought the residents of Onogafuchi village were fascinated by Watanagashi festival. Look down on these vulgar, barbaric humans and cut them open like fish. And by eating them, they affirm their own holiness, at least that's what I thought. However, the villagers gained from the rituals was not fascination, but fear. Then that would suggest the ritual meant something entirely different. There's a possibility that the executions were meant as a warning, encouraging villagers to strictly follow religious precepts created by those with power for their own convenience. Onogafuchi village has been effectively ruled over by three old families called the Three Families. Without investigating the three families, it probably won't get any closer to the truth of Onogafuchi village. Yep. And now for Scrapbook 8. The Three Families. The three families refer to the three old families who effectively come to rule Onigafuchi village. To break it down, there's the Kimiyoshi family, the Furude family, and the Sonozaki family. Each of them still exists today. Though they don't have as much control as they did in the remote past, they still hold considerable influence today. Two of those names are names of Keiichi's friends. Rika, and of course the twins. The three families are considered by legend to be those in whom the blood of the swamp demons runs the thickest. The Kimiyoshi family appears to have held great power as the head of three families, but it doesn't have that kind of leadership today. The current mayor of the village, Yoshichiro Kimiyoshi, is from that family. The fact that members of the Kimiyoshi family are elected as mayors every generation is thought to be a remnant of the old system. Of course, as no rival candidates appear, it doesn't change the fact that the Kimiyoshi family holds the mayoral office from true popular election in post-war era. The Furude family, the center of the village's faith since ancient times, Furude clan has guarded the soul shrine dedicated to Oishiro-sama. They were worshipped as the only people who represent the voice of Oishiro-sama for a long time, but the family branched off after the war and lost most of its power, and now consists only of the main house. The main house, presently consists of only one daughter, Rika Furude, so the lineage may end on this generation. There's apparently an old tradition of honoring the females of the Furude family, so the only daughter, Rika, is subject of much respect among the elderly of the village. The Sonozaki family. It's said that this family had a certain police-like role of protecting the religious precepts of Onigafuchi village. Of the three families, their relatively weak position can be seen from me putting them here last. Of course, today, Sonozaki family is flourishing, and the state of affairs among the three families is completely reversed. Even now, one could say they're in control of Hinamizawa. The three families conferring with each other is similar to the old way. The current head of the Sonozaki family, Oryo, essentially decides all of the going-ons of the village by herself. Huh. Late night phone call. Next. Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? Yes. No, not at all. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Well, you see, I do apologize for calling this hour, but I was wondering if our old man was visiting you at the moment. You got that right, yes. Once again, I'm very sorry for calling that late. Goodbye. Click. So, no good. I'm not sure what to do. He may be passionate about it, but he always gives at least a call. Called everyone he plays Go with, didn't you? And there's the reason for that phone call. Hello, this is Kimiyoshi. This is Sonozaki. How'd it go? Have you found the mayor? Oh, Mion-chan! I called everyone I could think of, but came with nothing. We can't find him. What do I do? Where could he be idling about? I put a word in with a bunch of people who might have had an idea, but nobody did. I asked Nana about it, and she said she'd get the men of the village together to search for him. At this hour? I mean, it's not like he's definitely gone missing. Watanagashi just happened. She thinks she should be a little more cautious. If we still can't find him, we'll notify the police tomorrow morning. So the mayor's missing. That's interesting. Whether or not we find him, though, we should refrain from making any false accusations. Orosan said that? Yes. Can't trust her without hearing her voice, and you can put her on for me. No, that's fine. I understand. We'll get the men together and search. If we can't find him, then we notify the police in the morning. She'll leave it to you to organize the men. I'll be there as well, Nana's representative. Thank you, thank you. I'll get everyone together immediately. Thanks. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. So the mayor's missing. One of these things is not like the other. Save right here.
There was no way I was able to sleep. When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who was my only ally who would support me was. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter how long I waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted when my mind started to wander, I jolted awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me into my futon and slept with it in my arms. But it didn't amount to much anything. Morning came, and by that time, I was pretty sure she wasn't calling back. That's when a fierce drowsiness assailed me. Damn it, this is not the time for sleep, Keiichi Mahabara. I slapped my face in a few times. 2 sleepless nights in a row. That is not good for Keiichi Mahabara. Then I went to the washroom and washed my face, which is something I usually didn't do. That was encouraging enough either, so I even brushed my teeth. After that, I was finally wide awake. When Mom saw how strange I was acting, her eyes went wide. What's wrong, Keiichi? Are you going somewhere today? Going somewhere? Yeah, to school. Keiichi-kun, you don't look so good today. Do you have a cold? I'm not sick, I just didn't get enough sleep. If I space out and start talking nonsense, just humor me. I was wondering what kind of nonsense you'll say. I wonder. Now I'm looking forward to it. How? I felt utterly shattered, and I still haven't picked up myself from this morning. For precisely that reason, Rena's smile was a sight for sore eyes. Yo! What's up, Kei-chan, Renaissance? Good morning. What? Mi-chan, you look like you didn't get much sleep either. Mion had gone home early yesterday with a hangover. She didn't look too good this morning either. Her usual cheerfulness was completely buried in the shadow. Yeah, I went to bed at like 3. I'm a little tired. 3? Hey now, you can't keep staying up late. You probably read the first volume of a manga that thought it was interesting, read the entire series, didn't you? I understand, I've done that before. I joked, trying to shake off my sleepiness. I was only trying to be considerate. However, neither Mion nor Rena smiled. In fact, they didn't even pay attention. Rena's expression immediately darkened. What? Wait, is this about the mayor? He still hasn't been found yet? Nope. Hey, wait a minute. What are you talking about? You can't find the mayor? Even the classroom, which was normally bursting with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today. Good morning, Keiichi-san. Have you heard? It looks like something terrible has happened. I don't really know this mayor person, but he's an old guy, right? Couldn't he just be wandering around senile? The mayor is certainly not senile. He's a sprightly man who can teach both calligraphy and swordsmanship. That's quite the list. He probably got lost somewhere like me. Lost Rika? Oh, I want to take you home with me. Getting lost is only cute because children like Rika do it. A worn-out old man getting lost isn't moe in the slightest. While my mind entertained the dumb thoughts like that, our teacher arrived. Everyone rushed to the seats. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Tongue-tied. The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy. Some of you may have already heard, last night, despite the late hour, the mayor never came home last night. Is there anyone here who saw the mayor yesterday? 1 or 2 hands shot up in the silence, and they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed vital information, however, and everyone began whispering among themselves. If anyone has seen the mayor, please tell an adult about it, alright? Now then, let's begin class. After that, the same old lessons began. I guess Mayor-san got demoned away. The rumors, once quieted, blossomed into flowers again at lunchtime. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them all up, I came up with was...
Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the Shrine Assembly Hall. The meeting ended after sun had fully set and everyone left. The elder's house was a bit far from the center of Hinamizawa. It was already late and Hinamizawa doesn't have a lot of lights outside. Nobody saw the mayor after the meeting. However, because he had been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips. He would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Some thought there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned, and they searched every irrigation channel to the water wells, and even the rice paddies did, but they didn't find him. Of course, there was a limit to how far they could search in the middle of the night. Police are going to wait for daylight and then have the young men of the town help search. After all, they still didn't find him, and they were apparently even looking in the mountains. Even now, at that moment, the adults were probably all searching for him. The more they searched in vain, the more time passed. The only thing that came to mind was the curse. The rumors of Onikakushi of the Demoning Away. Had he become this year's sacrifice to Oshiro-sama's curse, which has recently been occurring every year? That's a scary possibility, which everybody thought was about, but nobody said it out loud, was slowly but surely spreading throughout the village. Was he demoned away and offered as a sacrifice to quell Oshiro-sama's anger? My classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. I, on the other hand, knew better. The curse did happen this year. There were 2 people that died. That may sound strange, but I hadn't exactly thought the elder would be the one to go missing. My reasoning was clear. Shion and I should have been the higher priority than him. The 4 of us were thieves that broke the taboo and set the foot in the sacred ritual storehouse. If Tomotaku-san and Takano-san had suffered mysterious deaths, then it should have been mine and Shion's next. This time should have been Shion and me, huh? Eh? I laughed painfully to myself. I'd yell at Shion over the phone that I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that everyone other than me has disappeared, I can only think I should have been the first one to go. Watanagashi, the bottomless swamp, said to have been the place where they drowned sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered it the swamp. Many police divers were plumbing its depths even now. They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They'd always suspected Onagafuchi, but not once had they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was a devilishly bottomless swamp from which no one can think ever returned. I hear someone telling their friends that in the classroom. Now you mention it, Satoshi-chan. He left around this time last year, didn't he? Huh? Satoshi? I've heard that name before. He was right. He disappeared because of last year's curse. The conversation that was happening in the seat next to me, I could hear it clearly. Didn't we search the whole village like this for Satoshi, too? We didn't find him either. What did we decide that was? A demon in way, right? Yeah, I heard he withdrew all his savings and ran away from home. Someone from police said there was someone who saw him on the bullet train at Nagoya Station. Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in the reason, which seemed understandable in this case. Everyone else who disappeared had their own reasons, too. Either they still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into thin air for no reason. But they disappeared. Someone disappeared whenever the curse took life, as if by design. They may have been various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, it really might have been a demoning away this time. The mayor's disappearance was first such incident without clear reasoning behind it. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help resolve anything. It looks like I messed up with the seasoning today. Sorry. Normally, Rena would have devoured her lunch immediately, but today there was still a ton left. That wasn't because Rena's lunch didn't taste good or anything, though. That isn't the case. Your lunch today is as delicious as always. Sadako dips her chopstick into Renta's bento box and pulls a bit of food out from one after the other. Yes, delicious indeed. Today in particular, in fact. Chomp chomp! You know those are pumpkin croquets, right? Are you okay? Yes. If it's your pumpkin, then it's delicious. Did Sadako dislike pumpkin? Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shove more in her mouth. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Sadako kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was. If it's that good, then I guess I gotta have some too. Sadako's gonna eat it all if we let her. It's just so good, I would be certainly like it if Kichi-san were to eat some as well. Well, sometimes I have to show my adult generosity, right? Okay, don't hold back on my account. Eating that for both of us today. Oh! She really, really hated pumpkins, didn't she? That made it all more touching to see Sadako's brand of generosity. I grabbed her head and started stroking it. Sadako, in a somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming from her face. No way. You'll never grow up if you give away such good food. Brenna, you eat too. I only have leftover vegetable stew, but it tastes great after having sat overnight. Yeah, the duck and radish has a pretty color going through it. It looks really delicious. I guess I'll have some then. Brenna reached with her chopsticks, and alas, the usual lunchtime master began to return. That was only at our desks, however. The dark tales of Oshiro-sama's curse, which occurred for 5 years in a row, didn't cease. The whole classroom remained stuck in a somber mood. Oshiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone had wanted the previous year to be the last one. What was Oshiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Hinamazawa. The people building it were bad, so they were cursed. I would admit that much. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So why was the curse stubbornly persisting? I hit myself on the cheek to perk myself back up. Everyone was trying hard to brighten the mood, and I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. I forced the grim story out of my head. Driving Oshiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. In the end, that meant I was also driving away the most terrifying thoughts of all, that I could be the curse's next target. Mion's taking a while, isn't she? How long does it take to wash your hands? Mion said she was going to wash her hands and left, and she hadn't come back yet. She's probably taking a little afternoon nap somewhere. I think she was pretty late last night, looking for the mayor after all. I smiled wryly and let out a sigh. Today was no good. However much we tried to lighten the mood, it always came back to the mayor. It was just a no-good day. I just transferred here recently, so the shock of a curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one. Maybe I need to appreciate that. When Mi-chan was really little, the mayor would always spoil her. When she was going through her prankster phase, she loved her like his own daughter. She told me that often. I see. Mion's in shock, then. Someone's disappearing at all because of the curse was a very scary thing. The sacrifice with someone you knew, though, the shock must be 100 times worse. Sadako, as if she was coming to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downward. Oh, was Rika taking a while, too? Maybe they're just taking a nice afternoon nap together. Rika wasn't out that late. As soon as she yawned, everyone gathered around her and started saying good night. Now that she mentioned, there were a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in fervent gratitude towards Rika during the festival, too. An image of an indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika discovered a way to get herself pampered like that? Is there a reason the old people treat Rika like an idol? Is she their ideal image of a granddaughter or something? I don't think anything about that, but I want to see Rika-chan yawning. It's probably like, oh, I want to take her home. I don't personally think it's that cute. It's more like a, and she opens her mouth really wide so you can see the back of her throat. Her throat? This in your throat all wobbly? Oh! Rena's handy at times like these. I finally managed a heartfelt laugh. Oh right, I'm on day duty, aren't I? I need to go to the water for the flower garden. Garden right outside the teacher's lounge too. They seem to immediately tell if you don't do it right. I think Sadako-chan is cute. Not only Rika-chan. Oh la la! I can't breathe. Oh, I got a glimpse. It was so cute. Sadako-chan's cute too. I'm gonna take you home. Rena was squeezing her hand around Sadako's neck, trying to get a look into her throat. Wait, what? You know Rena is... I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious censored, isn't she? Sweet. Hearing Sadako's weird noise like a chicken being strangled, well, it's kind of hilarious, but I couldn't help but laugh. At some point, the class erupted in laughter too. Maybe Rena's doing this on purpose. If she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Anyways, let's get over the flowers while I still have time. Slowly and quietly, lest I destroy the room's newfound peace, I left the classroom. The watering can was hanging outside the kitchen. This building originally had been an all-male forestry service building, so there were apparently nothing thoughtful as gardening here before. When they decided to have a school share the space, they built it there in a modest gesture of appreciation. Well, the flower bed is a little longer than you'd expect. It went all the way around, all over the place. It was so big, one needed to refill the watering can about 5 or 6 times to get it all done. I was doing this together with a kid who was also, thankfully, on day duty with me. She was in the lowest grade, though, and a full size smaller than even Rika-chan. I couldn't make a kid who struggled just to lift the full water can help me with this. For this, if one was placed on day duty with someone who liked, they'd do it all for you, so it'd be a cake. No point in blaming her. I give up, I'll just get started. Watering can in hand, I was about to leave the building. An old man from the forestry office addressed me. Sonny, there's a vegetable garden behind the warehouse, right? It's all just about dried up. Order that too, would you? Well, that's, it's like an abysmally long task. Oh, mean that curry vegetable garden? The one that potatoes and carrots and other things that are only ingredients for curry? It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-loving teacher. But making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. I couldn't say that to his face, though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day duties. The sunlight out front was strong. The great chorus of cicadas was strongly underlining how nothing was different today than yesterday. I passed the classroom. I didn't know how it happened, but Ren and Sadako were in the middle of a huge melee. While I was gone, the kids arranged all the desks in a formal ring while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. Once school ended, we need to return to reality where talk of the elders' experience would once again be all over the place. I want everyone to forget everything and have fun, just like yesterday, only while they're at school. In that sense, Sadako whirling elbows and Ren's backward flying spin kick made a more pleasant sight. Even if as a result, they flipped over my desk. That's my pencil box. Yeah, I'll just let it happen today. I set to work, hastily watering everything, wanting nothing more than be done as soon as possible. That should about do it. No sooner had I thought that I remembered I had to water the teacher's curry vegetable garden, too. That's such a pain. I have a feeling it'll come back to bite me if I don't. I gave up, filled up the can with water again, and headed behind the warehouse. This was a place students didn't like to go. It was always damp here. You couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pill bugs being around. So when I ran across her in a place like this, I was a bit surprised. Whoa! Oh, it's Rika-chan. Don't scare me like that, please. Rika was just standing there like a puppet devoid of life. I was the one who startled her. Here. I was the only one who was startled here. Bleh. Rika-chan didn't even react to my appearance. Rika-chan? Finally, she noticed me. Her expression clearly abnormal. There was red under her eyes, stained with tears and dirt. There was whiskers stuck in her hair too, and her clothes looked as if she'd fallen to the ground. Rika-chan? Are you hurt? Did you fall? No. That isn't it. Rika-chan said in the brightest voice she could manage. She rubbed her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal, though. What happened? You weren't sleeping at the storehouse roof. and then fell off or anything, did you? Don't worry about me. I have something I wanted to ask you, Keiichi. Rika-chan walked over and clung to me. At first I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however, I realized I wouldn't run from the question she was about to ask. I shuddered. What do you want from me? She looked straight in my eyes. Her upturned eyes bored right into me, as though they were trying to pull an answer out from my own eyes without actually asking me the question. It was scary, so I averted my eyes away from hers. Keiichi, did she do something bad on the night of this festival? Oh no. Oh no 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 no. My body gave a jolt from its very core. Rika-chan, who was clinging to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingling crawled from my feet, and going up to my back, freezing my entire body, made its way into my brain. Keiichi, do you really not remember? ... My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Mion asked me, Oishi-san asked me, Shion asked me, and now Rika is asking me. Oh boy. Keiichi, if there was a time to fess up, it's now. We thought nobody knew, but... we thought nobody knew, but... what about we did last night? But in fact, everyone knew? They all knew and they came to ask me. Again and again until I admit it. When I thought about it, it was pretty clear the whole thing was out in the open. After all, it didn't take Tomochaki-san and Tomochaki-san's and Takano-san's deaths to prove it. Keiichi? How should I respond? Never should have entered that storehouse, even though I regretted it so much. Was she saying it wasn't enough? However, I had all but decided I was going to say. I'm not exactly a good kid, you know. I've done a lot of bad things, so I can't remember anything specific, just... I had, with all the others, I evaded the question. Rika-chan stared at me with an innocent eyes. Her eyes so painful I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, Rika-chan released me. I'm sorry for asking something so strange. Please forget about it, she said, smiling her usual smile. Then tap, 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 tap. She went running off as if nothing happened. As she retreated in silence, I could feel her accusing me. Rika-chan? She didn't hear my voice. I was going to give up. However, she heard it. Rika-chan swiveled around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now. Still asking any of them could be just a half-assed way of admitting what I did. Hey, Rika-chan? What is it? Everyone knows anyway that I should be able to at least ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening, had I done something that was wrong? I felt plenty sorry about it, and I only looked anyway. I didn't break anything or steal anything. Really. Still, Tomochaki-san and Takano-san, they died so miserably. Since those two have come to such an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive only me. Rika-chan tilted her eyes in confusion and waited for me to say something. If I were to admit what happened that night, she might suddenly go to do a 180 as if flipping a switch. That would make sense. Rika-chan was the shrine maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking a taboo, wasn't she? Upon reflection, I wouldn't tell her be more terrifying than telling Mion or Oishi-san. Rika-chan just about could just give up and leave, and couldn't she? She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say it, Keiichi Marabara. If you're really sorry, then you should say so. Of course, it's normal to hesitate given the crazy way Tomochaki-san and Takano-san died. A pulping machine called Chaos was grinding my brain. The juice wrung out turned into big droplets of sweat which began to fall. Keiichi. Rika-chan suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head. I don't really understand what you're worried about, Keiichi. I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little so Rika's palm could reach it. She petted me kind of like one would a cat. Do you know about the big storehouse way behind the shrine grounds? It stores implements we use for rituals. Rituals plural. Why'd she use it like that? That implies there's more than just one, besides Watanagashi. My breath literally stopped. Rika-chan, though, wasn't acting in any coercive way at all. Apparently, on the night of the festival, a cat snuck into the storehouse. A cat? Yes, a cat. Meow meow. Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I could tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so she wouldn't scare me. The cat always wanted to explore the inside of the storehouse, but I was mean to it and never let it go inside. So on the night of festival, the cat couldn't hold itself back any longer and went inside. The cat. It was clearly supposed to be Takano-san. Or wait, was it supposed to be me? Inside there's actually a lot of things that scared the cat. Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me. The cat was both terrified and amazed. It ran away as fast as it could, clatter, clatter, clatter. Shiver, shiver, meow. It was terrible. This cat, who are you saying it was? The cat is a cat. Meow meow. Rika-chan still avoided saying it. The cat, though, was, without a doubt, me. Rika-chan, please tell me, the cat, what should it do now? Maybe it was just for a question to ask. I sort of admitted being the cat. The cat is just a cat. It can keep on meowing and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. That's stupid. Shouldn't it just keep meowing? Jeez, Rika-chan. I have to put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent, but now that's enough. I can't keep meowing. The dog saw the cat making mischief and sneaking inside. The dog. That's right. It was the dog. It kept coming to the cat, trying to get it to say that it snuck inside. After that, Rika-san's expression clouded over. He was trying to hide it, but I already noticed her eyes darkening. Rika-chan? The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned. It's alright. I'll protect the cat. What? I thought for a moment that I'd misheard those words, so dependable they were. The cat is really scared. It really isn't all that bad. I think all dogs are just misunderstood. It's not that bad? The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. Rika-chan will do something about it? I don't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika-chan didn't look at all that dependable. Might be hard, but I'll do my best. Go for it, yay! She clenched her fist and stuck it in the air. Rika-chan said that the cat can keep meowing. She said to leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve this such a thing? Will you really be alright, Rika-chan? I'm gonna drop a save here. I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. Had been talking to me under the assumption I was aware of certain things, so at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding anything. But one thing I did know was not to worry and leave it to her. Rika-chan straightened up once again and patted me on the head and smiled. I was so moved that by a reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry. I'm sorry. The cat, it really was just a little bit of mischief. Didn't think anything of this would. It's too much of a scaredy cat. That's why I should never have seen the storehouse. She was right. It was far too shocking for someone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look in the first place, wasn't it? Rika-chan, what happened to the cat? Of the cats that snuck in, well, that night I heard Tomotaki-san and Takano's deaths were being kept secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it. Tomotaki's and Takano? I gave a start at the sudden mention of their actual names. It was weird to do that at this point. You should forget about them. I sighed, froze again. But forget? Yes. It won't do you any good to remember those two, Keiichi. The more you think about it, the scarier it'll get. So you should forget about them as soon as possible. Said something so enormously terrifying without letting the smile on her face waver at all. I don't know if you heard about it but you should forget everything. Make your mind as clean as a scrub bathtub. Forget? Rika-chan, you know, don't you? You know how those two died. No matter how they died, it has nothing to do with you, Keiichi. Yay! Rika declared that in a very flat voice. Nothing to do with me. So forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable, even seemed trustworthy. But suddenly she took... Oh, that's right. I should get going. I forgot plans. Anyways, save. I forgot to set my alarm. Yep, we gotta call it a day here. Turn to main menu. Yeah. Close that. Go to OBS.